Saget to stay on, and he graciously accepted. And so they were ad-libbing and things like that. And he asked Bob Saget a question he always wanted to ask him. How are you, America's dad? These are my words, not his. And it's like they never saw your set. When you're being raunchy and things like that. Let me finish. You're raunchy. They'd seen your set, and he said, "Well, Steve, because it's a TV show and I'm an actor." And he said, and the crowd lost it. But he said he was he wanted to ask more questions, but that one, he said after that.
I can see where he's going, because you have to be an actor, a good actor, you have to portray different characters.
Right.
And you're not always what you are on TV or in the movies.
Right.
It's just like, I've mentioned this before, that I am a huge fan of Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
But I really don't listen to his stand-up. I like what he does on his podcast.
Right.
And TV shows that he's been on. I've seen some of his stand-up. And with Bob Saget, I kid you not, I've only seen one set of Bob Saget's ever.
Well, you have personal experience with him, and I remember.
And that is the only time I've saw his stand-up is when I met him.
Right. I was going to say that. You had it. But you came back with...
So let me go ahead and tell my story.
You're going to tell your story, but I remember you saying that you met him, and regardless of his show, what a great guy he is. But go ahead.
Yeah. So back in the day, I used to do photography. Well, I still do photography now, but I used to do work with WJFK, which is now 106.7 The Fan. So I used to do a lot of stage shows and just different things and events for the radio station. And they did this event with the Opie and Anthony show, the Traveling Virus Tour. So I shot that, and I got to meet all the comedians. And Bob Saget was one of the comedians that I met. So what was so weird about meeting Bob Saget for the first time, it is a bunch of comedians back there. And of course, like I said, his set is crazy. I mean, it is raunchy as I don't know what. So,
but was it funny?
It's funny, but it's more of a shock and awe to me, because everybody was backstage talking. So you have all these, comedians that are back here. I mean, these are professional comedians back there. So everybody's just kind of shooting the shit back there. And Bob Saget started talking. He went on stage, and I'm like, "Oh, Danny Tanner, it's gonna be funny." I'm thinking of. He's going to tell stories, stuff like that. And he dropped the F-bomb. And some of the stuff that he was saying, I was just staring at him. I'm like,
were you in shock?
Oh, shit. Did Danny Tanner just say what I thought he said? And so he did his set. And he came back, and, he was sitting at a table, and he was talking to some of the people at the table. And we're just talking to other people. And they continued to talk about, the set on stage. They were like, "Oh, that's funny." They were just saying, this is, how comedians, I don't know if, know comedians, but how comedians talk about, their jokes and stuff like that. And I'm standing there, and he's sitting down, and he's dropping the F-bombs, and he's saying, just see you next Tuesday and all that stuff.
Blew your mind.
And it just totally blew my mind.
You're not America's dad.
But, like you said, when he met the public, because they had people that came back that, that took pictures with him and stuff, and I took pictures of the people that were, that were coming back, that were talking to him. It was a total switch. It was a bait and switch. It was like, you see him on TV.
Right.
No more curse words, nothing.
Yeah.
He was like America's dad.
Right.
And I'm staring at him like, did they not see the same thing that I saw? I mean, Danny Tanner, Full House, the Olsen twins. Come on, son. Did you not see what he did?
Right.
I mean, but he'll be missed. And he died this past weekend, which was the 7th or something like that. in our Orlando hotel. It was a Ritz-Carlton in Orlando.
Yeah.
He was just coming off of a show in Jacksonville, and he did a couple of interviews, and he was supposed to, I think, do another show that night. So as we speak right now, there's no details surrounding his death, but all I want to say is, rest in peace.
You didn't tell the part about how you met him, though, like your personal.
That was the whole part.
Did you talk to him?
Yes, but like I said, as we were sitting at the table, everybody was talking.
Oh, I see. Got it.
And it was more because I was, you're there for hours.
Sure.
So even though I'm working, I still have downtime. And when you're around people have a tendency to talk.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't no like conversation about, hey, Full House, and hey, what about
sure.
America's Funniest Video? There was nothing like that.
No.
It was just as people were conversating, you were just a part of the conversation.
Got it. I see.
And then when it got to the point of the conversation where he was dropping some of these words, it was like, I wish I could have like a selfie camera on me at that point, because my face probably was like, you ever see movies like the Jaws just drop all the way down?
Sure.
That's what it was like.
But overall, he was a nice guy.
Yes, he was a nice guy.
He was pleasant to work with.
Yes, he was. I mean, like I said, when he came to the public and he started signing autographs, I mean, no cursing, no nothing. I mean, I kid you not, everybody that came up to him, he smiled and took a picture.
Did he really?
And didn't bullshit about it, because you know how people just do it, like,
yeah,
oh, it's another motherfucking picture, and you can tell in their face
that they don't
don't want to take the picture.
Sure.
But every time he was just smiling.
Yeah.
That's the thing. He would every time that someone came up to him, the people that worked there, everybody, he was just smiling.
Yeah.
So I got a good vibe off of him. That you can tell he's a good person.
Sure. Everybody, I think, across the board has the outpouring of love that he's received. That people that knew him personally say that. And that's why we brought it up, because we typically don't give special shout outs, except for the people that we adore, like.
Well, we grew up, well, I wouldn't say grew up on him, but we watched a lot of stuff that he did.
Yeah, just in general.
Yeah.
I mean, he is America's dad, so you have to give a special shout out. And rest in peace, Betty White. We didn't forget about you. She's everybody's person. She can't be an aunt. I guess she could be Aunt Betty.
Before